Okay. Hi guys. So this video is going to go along with a build a bug assignment. Build a bug. Um, in the packet that I sent you, the most recent packet, you should have a worksheet that looks like this. It says build a bug workshop. And then you should also have a paper. I don't have a paper copy of it, but a white piece of paper that has like a magnifying glass lens or whatever glass. And on there is where you're going to draw your bug. So right now you need to pause the video if you need to until you get this worksheet. And then there's also a document. So let's see, I'm gonna share my screen. Nope. Here we go. There's also a document on Google Classroom called Build a Bug Reference Packet. So it's just a PDF of a packet that you will use for reference. So it's multi-pages, but if you look here, there's just a number of sections, and this will make sense after the end of this video. But so you can see here, gene 1 of this activity is coding for the body style of your bug, gene 2 for leg style, and so on. Here's figure 1, I'll refer to. Oh, sorry. Figure 2 is a whole page. Figure 2 continued. Figure 3, and that's it. So anyways, this is posted on Google Classroom as a PDF for you to reference. And then those of you that are virtual at home, in order for you to submit the assignment, I'm going to have you, like you've been doing in the past, take a picture of both your worksheet and then the bug that you draw. So I'm going to go to this presentation here. So you guys are going to basically be taking a chunk of DNA for a bug and then decode it into the gene, the physical trait, and then you're going to draw a bug. So basically today we are going through protein synthesis, starting straight from the DNA all the way to see what it codes for. So I think this activity is a really good one because it kind of puts all the pieces together, but it's also kind of tricky, which is why I really want you to pay attention as we go through this little introduction. So first of all, the top of your worksheet should look like this. Let me point out that my screen here says bug number 1. There's actually 30 different bugs. So just a heads up that a lot of you have different bugs, which I think is fun. So then for the gene sequence worksheet on here, you can see there's 11 genes that you're going to be decoding. And so here's gene number 1, and then gene number 2, and so on. Here is this DNA strand. So you can see there are 3 DNA codons that are going to code for each trait. Okay, so here's an introduction. If it may help you to go back and read this, I'm not going to take time right now, but this is a really good introduction of kind of putting it all together if you feel like you could benefit from that. Here's a quick reference of directions. So if you're like, wait a second, Ms. Ryberg totally forgot a step, you can always go back to these directions and it takes it step by step. Okay, so what we've done many times together now is we've gone from a DNA codon like CCC, and then you guys have transcribed it into messenger RNA. You've done that before, you're good at it. You're also really good at taking the messenger RNA codon and translating it to the amino acid that it codes for. And that's essentially what we're going to do today. So really, nothing today is really new. You guys have done the hard part many times. Keep in mind that the messenger RNA codons are what ultimately codes for the amino acid sequence. So if you played the amino acid bingo, that's what we did many times. We looked at the codon, DNA codon. You guys came up with the mRNA codon and then the amino acid. So all I've done is transcribed it into the messenger RNA here. So you can see for my 3 codons in gene 1, I just wrote the corresponding messenger RNA codons. So CCC will match with GGG. And I did that for gene 1, and then I did it for gene 2. Now remember that the messenger RNA is ultimately what we're going to use for the amino acid sequence. If you've done the gizmo by now, you guys saw the tRNA come into play. Remember I called the tRNA like tow truck RNA. So in the gizmo yesterday, I love it because you physically see that the mRNA and the tRNA physically fit together, right? Depending on their bases. So the tow truck RNA goes and grabs the appropriate amino acid. And then in order to click it into place, it has to click into the messenger RNA. So you read in the gizmo, or you should have read in the gizmo, that we actually call it like an anticodon. So if you look here to get the tRNA base strand, we just use the same RNA base pairs. So from the messenger RNA GGG, you know this, it's going to code for CCC, and that's just the tow truck RNA. And that little tRNA is only plugging and chugging amino acids into place. So I am going to have you create the anticodons, the tRNA here. But again, it's just masking. It's just going to pair up with the mRNA. So UCC is going to pair with AGG. However, when we get to the next step, when you're looking for the amino acid sequence, remember to always use the messenger RNA. It has the message, so that's the one we're going to be using. Okay, so look at my purple arrows trying to remind you to use the messenger RNA, not the DNA and not the tRNA. So in order to figure out the amino acid, in real life, you guys are familiar with the fact that amino acids actually have names, right? Like proline and leucine and isoleucine and blah, blah, blah. In the activity today, the amino acids actually have numbers. So if you can see here, or if you look at my screen, in the PDF, in the reference packet, you're going to look up the codons here, and it will give you an amino acid number. So actually, let me go back, sorry. So the first messenger RNA codon is GGG. So I'm going to go pull up my PDF and GGG. Right there, sorry, is amino acid number 1. So if you look there, I've got amino acid number 1. And then I'm going to look up UAG, and I'm going to look up then UCC, and UAG was amino acid number 6. And then if we look up UCC, is amino acid number 7. So there we have our first amino acid sequence, 1, 6, 7. If we do the same over here, you got, we'll do the same thing over here for the gene 2. And in fact, you're going to do them for all 11 genes. You're going to use that amino acid sequence to look up what trait that codes for. In real life, remember, we would actually call like that sequence of amino acids a protein. And today we're just going to look up in this kind of silly little code about the what trait. So if you look gene 1, the amino acid sequence I got was 167. So in figure 2 in the reference packet, amino acid sequence 167 codes for body style 3. So that's what I write here on the line. So body style number 3. And over here, you're going to do the same thing. The amino acid sequence I got for my gene number 2 was 2910. I looked it up and it told me leg style 4. Okay, so you're going to do that for 11 different traits for your bug. Here is what those traits mean. So here you can see, I think this is body style. Body style 1, body style 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is also in the reference packet. And then these are leg styles you can see drawn here. So remember, you must use the messenger RNA to determine the amino acid. Sorry, not the DNA and not the tRNA. Then I'm going to have you, so after you have this whole sheet completed, again, you will use in the packet, it looks like this. You're going to use this to make a quick drawing. Don't spend forever on your bug, but I do want you guys to turn in a picture of your bug. I thought I was going to say something else. This is not meant to be tricky, but you really are going through the process of protein synthesis. So starting from DNA, going to RNA, and then the amino acid sequence, and ultimately having it code for something like in real life. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, I will just point out that I have used this every year I've taught, 7 years, and there's not a mistake. There really isn't. I swear there's not a mistake. So, and why I'm telling you that is many times you guys will be doing this worksheet and you'll be going to the reference packet and you're like, there is no UCC. And you think I'm wrong. Double check yourself. Go back from the beginning. Double check that you did the mRNA correctly and then the tRNA and so on. Check yourself. Okay. I promise there are no mistakes. So, email me if you're stuck or if you need to Zoom at any point. But other than that, just relax, go through 11 genes, draw a precious little bug, and then submit it. So I think that is it. One last reminder to always use the messenger RNA to determine the amino acid. Okay, I think that's it.